All right, as many school districts remain closed, that snow and ice from the past weekend still impacting a lot of those roads. So we're taking a look this morning.
Yeah, Finance reporter Claire Everbach is in the storm chaser again today, monitoring the road conditions. And Claire, this is the third day that some schools have canceled class. Y'all were just showing us a neighborhood. We can see why, even if those interstates are looking better. So where are y'all this morning and what are you seeing?
Good morning, Joe and Tiffany. Well, like you said, the highways are looking better, but take a look at these neighborhood streets in Bentonville. They're not looking too great. So I think it's safe to say that these roads are probably the main reason that a lot of schools are not having classes today. I've been speaking with local public school superintendents about when they decide to cancel class. Dr. Brian Duffy is the superintendent for Alma School District. He says road conditions are, of course, the primary factor when deciding whether or not to hold classes. Alma district leaders consult with neighboring school districts, the county road department, and the National Weather Service to make the safest decision possible. He also says bus routes and the safety of younger drivers play a major role.
Bus routes. Can buses navigate the bus routes? And if there's only one or two we have to modify, could we open school and modify a couple of routes and be okay? Another thing is, can our teen drivers handle the road? Would I want to send my high school child to drive to school in the conditions? And that it needs to be cleared enough where our teen drivers can handle the road conditions.
We'll keep monitoring these pretty treacherous back road conditions. As you can see, the storm chaser is a little bit bumpy right now, and I definitely feel the snow and ice on that road. We'll give you an update shortly. Joe, Tiffany, back to you.
All right, thanks for that, Claire. She's bumping around a little bit because that ground or the snow is frozen.
Yeah, that's how I felt this morning. I know you probably did in some areas too. So
yeah,
buckle up out there.
All right, well, other districts across the area from large to small also making the decision to cancel classes another day.
Yeah, and Rogers, the superintendent there, Dr. Jeff Perry, he says that the district travels nearly 4,000 miles a day on bus routes. And if that's what a lot of them look like, you can see why they canceled for today. Many of them rural, dirt or gravel roads that can freeze overnight. Perry says district leaders also considered the student drivers and staff commuting long distances. He says it's also about making sure students are safe once they get to school.
We have to get all of our parking lots cleared. We have to get all of our sidewalks cleared. When we have temperatures that are below zero, we've got 3 million square feet of space under roof in this district. And so with that, almost every single time we will have some water issues.
Dr. Perry said that they are not in makeup day territory just yet. They have 5 days built into their calendar for snow days.
All right now we're taking a live look near Fort Smith and there in Sequoyah County. So Sequoyah County there on your right, that's near the Arkansas border, though. Sallisaw canceling classes today. See some slick spots still there, and then on your left there you have Rogers Avenue. So things are looking clearer. It's just you're gonna hit some icy patches. They're out there.
Yeah, definitely. And several school districts in those areas closed, including Fort Smith, Poteau, Sallisaw, and Sequoyah. And so just be careful out there on the roads today.
All right, in other news this morning, Stacey Lee Drake, the man accused of 3 murders in Oklahoma, is set to have a status hearing today in Sequoyah County.
Yeah, Drake is accused of killing Tara Underwood and Taylor Sharp in June of 2024. He's also charged with murder for the 2024 death of Philip Emerson in Canadian County. Drake has pleaded not guilty to those charges, and he faces a 4th murder charge in Alabama in connection with the death of Russell Andrews. Right now, Drake's jury trial is scheduled for February of next year.
Well, the Public Service Commission has approved a new rate increase for SWEPCO customers, and now some electricity bills are going up. SWEPCO says the average residential customer will see their bill go up $17.50 per month. A Northwest Arkansas resident spoke out against the hike. You're seeing it here at a November public comment meeting, saying they're worried it will pay for the Flint Creek coal plant in Benton County. They say it's outdated, and the group Sierra Club saying they want cheaper and cleaner energy options.
That was our main role in this case, was pointing out concern around the spending at the Flint Creek power plant, which I would argue, and we have argued, was not justified by SWEPCO's economic evaluation.
Well, SWEPCO says that they are trying to retire Flint Creek by 2038 and that the rate increase will help pay for upgrades to the new power grid and renewable energy projects. The increase will go into effect for next month's billing cycle.
Well, the starting date for a policy that was taking shape at Arkansas State prisons has now been pushed back, and it's unclear when it will go into effect. The policy would mean books and magazines can no longer be sent directly to inmates. The Board of Corrections says an administrative rule is preventing the policy from going into effect at the start of the month. The Board of Corrections Rand Champion says that it will have some steps to go through before prisons can start the policy.
So it will have to go through legislative review. It will have to go through a public comment period. It will have to go, in front of the governor's office. So there's a lot of steps to get that through. So because that, I don't really have a timeline as to how long that will take. We'll probably go before the Board of Corrections again at a future meeting. I think that's probably the first step, is for them to approve it, to go through this process, to start the administrative rule.
The BOC says that it wants to stop an uptick in books being sent with synthetic drugs. The policy has been criticized by some advocates for being too restrictive. The BOC claims that it does not outright ban books. It only limits how they can be sent. Well, a man faces possible assault charges after he attacked Minnesota Congresswoman with an unknown substance.
Yeah, the incident happened Tuesday after Ilhan Omar called for federal immigration agents to leave Minneapolis at a town hall there. Take a look. This is the video here. The man, identified as Anthony Kazmierzak, was tackled immediately and then arrested. Now, the congressman, after this, continued on.
We are Minnesota strong, and we will stay resilient in the face of whatever they might throw at us.
This is the latest incident in the city after a second U.S. citizen, 37-year-old Alex Preddy, was shot and killed by federal agents on Saturday. A memo sent to Congress by U.S. Customs and Border Protection confirms what's heard in recordings.
That an officer yelled he's got a gun multiple times before two agents shot at Preddy. No mention of Preddy brandishing his gun. President Trump said he's waiting on the investigation, but criticized Preddy having a firearm.
We view that as a very unfortunate incident. I don't like that he had a gun.
On Capitol Hill, Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem is under bipartisan scrutiny from lawmakers. While Trump is publicly supporting Noem, he has sent the border czar, Tom Homan, to be on the ground in Minnesota in an effort to, quote, de-escalate a little bit.